Hey guys, my name is Chris from Twiga Trails, the biking community, and
I'm Rolf. This is a biker's guide to buying a mountain bike. Enjoy. Before we start, this video is sponsored by Little Kidogo.
they make tech work for you.
Let's go.
So Rolf, what is a mountain bike, and are there different types of mountain bikes? Can any bike be called a mountain bike as if you're riding it on a mountain or on a hill?
Mountain biking, first of all, differs from road cycling and other kinds of cycling. Mountain biking is, in short, off-road cycling. Riding your bicycle off-road, up hills, down hills, almost up mountains, down mountains, you know. And you do have different types of mountain bikes. So right before me over here, or before us, this is a hardtail. A hardtail meaning that the rear has no suspension and the front does have suspension. You have other kinds. You have downhill bikes, you have cross-country bikes, you have trail bikes, you have e-bikes, which are growing in popularity right now, and you have full suspension bikes, and also fully rigid bikes, which don't have the front suspension, nor do they have the rear suspension.
All right, okay, so for someone who's not decided whether they want to do trails or they want to do upward mountain biking, what are the general 5 things to look for just a good all-round mountain bike?
Number 1, tires. With a mountain bike, you get different kinds of tires, different sizes of tires, different treads of tires. When buying a mountain bike, usually common sizes, wheel sizes will be 26 inches, 27 inches, 27.5, and 29 inch. 29 inch being the biggest. Next up, we've got some mathematics. Number 2, the frame. Mountain bikes will have different kinds of frames for different levels of riding. One of the most important is the head angle, which is how tilted, I don't know, the angle between this headset and head tube in comparison to the ground, I believe. Yeah. And the slacker means a lower angle. So I don't know how much this one is, but slacker bikes with the lower degrees do mean that they are more downhill orientated. Less slacker angles mean that the bike is more for just general flatter riding and maybe even more uphills. The other thing is maybe the head tube. A lot of the times you can get some that are pretty straight like this one, or others that go slope downwards. The ones that slope downwards tend to be more gravity orientated, whereas the non-slopey ones are more for general riding. How to not go over the bar. Number 3, brakes. You get different kinds of brakes on a mountain bike. The 2 most common are rim brakes and disc brakes. So you have little discs and you have brake pads, where this whole system is called a caliper, and inside you have 2 pads that squeeze onto the disc and slow you down. Rim brakes are similar in the sense that they are 2 objects that hold onto the bike or slow the bike down and grip together, but these, hence the name rim brakes, are on the rim. I like the rim.
What makes this brake generate more braking power than the normal rim brakes?
You can also get different size discs, and obviously the bigger the surface area, the bigger the disc, you know, the more frictional force that you have on the bike, so the more braking power and stopping power. Modern mountain bikes will have disc brakes, so make sure you look out for that. You will be able to stop. Right, so we've had a look at 3 things, and as I said earlier, this is a hardtail. So next we're gonna get a full suspension. So number 4, suspension. You get different kinds of suspension. You have coil springs, and air suspension. My bike is air, and it's a full suspension, so you have suspension in the rear and in the front. You will have different travels depending on the discipline of bike. This is a cross-country bike and it has a travel of 120 millimeters.
What do you mean by travel?
So travel is the distance your suspension travels, or moves up and down.
Compression.
Or the distance it can compress before bottoming out, which bottoming out means the end of compression. Number 5, and the final thing on this guide, is the cockpit. Cockpit is where all your controls are, apart from the throttle, which is your legs.
Diba.
You have the handlebar or the handlebar, the stem, your brakes, and your gear levers. Yeah. Things to look out for when buying a mountain bike is the stem length. The stem length, also the width, the handlebar width. You get different widths depending on, you know, what you feel comfortable on. But usually for mountain biking, you need wider bars compared to other disciplines like road cycling. Stem length will also dictate, similar to the head angle, will also dictate your weight, where your weight is on the bike. So the shorter the stem, the further back you're holding. Therefore, the more weight that's being shifted to the back of the bike, the longer it is, or the more forward your weight is on the bike. And yeah, those are the main things to look out for. That's been a biker's guide to buying a mountain bike. We have given you 5 essential things to know and look out for when buying a mountain bike: tires, frame, brakes, suspension, and the cockpit.
The bar. The famous bar.
So when you go out to buy a bike, you know, now you know what to look for, and you will be getting better value and getting the right bike for you and for the discipline and for the type of mountain biking you want to do. And yeah, thank you very much to Twiga Trails for making this video, Little Kidogo for sponsoring this video. We will see you guys in the next video.
Yeah, and don't forget to join the conversation on Instagram at Twiga Trails. But I think that's it for today. Cheers.